Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of my Grand Champion 2 Freeplay tutorial series, so that you guys can understand what to do in Freeplay and how to improve without spending far too many hours in trial and error phases. Now, you guys absolutely loved the first one, and it ended up getting the most views my channel has ever seen, and my subscriber count absolutely skyrocketed. So first of all, I have to thank you very much for that. Now, I hope you enjoy, and let's get into the video. As you can see, I'm starting the routine the same way. I goof off for a bit, and this is really good because it just lets me warm up, and as I said before, it lets me understand how I'm feeling this day. So I think I'm playing quite well, honestly better than last time. Just hit a nice double, and look at this flip reset here. Oh, bad musty kind of, but you get the idea. I'm feeling myself a little bit, and that's a very good thing for my warm-up routine is the initial assessment. Not because it stops me from playing ranked or anything like that, but I'm a guy who's huge on mentality, and understanding how I'm playing and how I can adjust my mentality for the day does actually go a long way. So, for example, today I am feeling good. So after my free play warm-up, I would go into ranked with the intention of winning and being like, I am ready to win today. I am probably better than my opponents. However, on a day where I'm bad, my goal is not to carry and win. It is to be a reliable teammate, to make sure that I allow my teammates to do the hard lifting and I support them. So I'm not saying don't go into ranked if you don't feel like you're playing well. I'm saying adjust your playstyle because, you know, you can always win. It doesn't really matter that much. It's just how hard are you going to try to carry? How much are you going to rely on teammates, on rotations, all those things. So the next step is not hitting the ball. Actually, it's the opposite. So let me just leave it there. And so I'm going to run around and just practice my recoveries, practice landing on the walls and the ceiling. Stalling, can I do it? Nah, I can't stall. And yeah, and so this is one of the keys to this warm-up, is that you don't actually touch the ball for quite a while. And I know it's only a couple minutes, however, a lot of warm-ups involve touching the ball because that is what Rocket League is. However, as I said in my Q&A video, I know a lot of you guys didn't actually watch that because it was quite early on the channel, is that I believe that in normal sports, we don't really force kids at a young age to play with the ball and stuff like that. Like, there's a time period where we just expect people to start learning how to walk. We cheer when they start crawling and when they stand up on their legs for the first time. And yet in Rocket League, on day one, you jump in, you're a human, and now you become a car, and you're just expected to play a sport. It doesn't make sense to me. And so I've had this mentality of learn what your car is, and just understand what it can do, and that kind of thing. And so that's why when I teach air rolling, I always say bind your other button and just learn it, because it's like, I just can't believe that so many people have a button on their controller that they don't know what it does to their car when they press it. And so I believe in learning what everything does, and not necessarily mastering it, but just understanding it, knowing how to walk before you jump in and play a sport. Now, with that being said, it's time to go on to stage 2. And today I'm kind of feeling adaptable. I think stage 2 right now is going to be carrying it on my roof and practicing some flicks. So I'm just going to practice. What I like to do is not necessarily shoot at the goal, because flicks aren't... I think there's this misconception that flicks are only used to shoot. However, they're arguably more useful and valuable to just, an opponent is coming and, oh, I didn't even flick there, and you just flick it over them. So oftentimes I'll score my goals by doing this. The opponent flies past, I catch it, and look, I don't even flick it into the goal most of the time. And so that's where flicks are useful. And so when I'm in free play, I don't shoot them and then reset. I just flick, you know? That's a flick here. I try to catch it. Couldn't quite catch that. I'm going to power slide around it. And then I'm going to just flick here. Little flicks like that, and just get practice at just flicking out of nowhere. Boop. Over a defender. And now I'll go up the wall. I'm just going to do one little wall to air dribble. try to get a flip reset, and now I'm going to try to catch it again. And just stay consistent with this catching practice. And dribbling. I know I said I'm doing dribbling, however, one thing you can remember is that you never just do one thing in game. And so it's good to sometimes go up a wall and, you know, do a few things in midair before you just go back to your dribbling practice, because that is what it is in game. It has to be very fluid and non-strict and adaptable. It's a huge thing in rotations and mechanics. You don't want to just rely on just, okay, now I'm going to do this. Like, for example, let me try to do a ceiling shot. If it doesn't go the right way, look it. Now I have to recover. So I'm going to just flip and back to my catching. Little things like that. All right. And as I spoke about last time, when you're doing this drill, one thing you can do is bounce it up the wall, or roll it up the wall, my bad, and then just try to catch the ball. And you'll want to do this a few times. So I just catch it, then I'm going to go up the other wall, and I'm going to catch it again. And I'm going to this time have it on my roof as I go up the wall instead of rolling it up. So I have to get where the ball is going to go, try to align myself in the center of this circle here, and I just catch the ball. And so we just keep doing that back and forth. And this is infinitely helpful when you're in game. Oops, a little miscontrol in the air, but I can catch it on the second bounce. And then, like I said, I'll just do a flick here. I'll try to, oh, it went a little high on the wall. I was going to try to poke it up the wall into the air for another catch. Now, one of the things that helped me rank up the fastest, and I did mention this in the last one, and a lot of you guys really did like this. I even had some feedback that somebody did end up ranking up about 2 ranks using this trick, and that is rolling it up the wall again, and then this time air dribbling it and not catching it. Now, this timing is hard to get, and it takes a lot of practice in free play, and this is the time to start. It's just no matter your rank, just try popping it up once or twice. And a nice little addition is somebody said it's too hard to pop up. It's too hard, so I don't even try it. And my response to that was, then do this. Okay, you don't need to follow it in an air dribble like I do. Practice getting that timing down where you, the moment the ball hits the ground, you pop it into the air, no matter what you do afterwards. That is the important part, is understanding that, oh, okay, if I jump right now, oh, got the mistiming there. But yeah, it's just stay in free play and just keep popping the ball up like so. I'm gonna wait, and now I'm gonna air dribble it. And so that's just how to improve that. Honestly, after a few weeks or a month, you will notice a huge difference in your air dribbling abilities. Not because you now understand how to air dribble better, but because with the perfect setup, an air dribble is actually a lot easier than you think it might be. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is show you guys how to get power on your shots. I know I talked about boomer ball in the last one, and I didn't really cover it too much, so this time I'm going to cover exactly what I am doing to generate the power I was talking about. Getting power on the ball while you play boomer mode takes about 4 things. First, it takes hitting the ball with the corner of your car. I know a lot of players talk about this, but the way I do it is that I hold manual air roll, where leaning to the diagonal would make my car flip awkwardly. Instead, I'm able to lean backwards quite nicely. Look at this. And so I lift the corner of the car that I'm going to hit with. Once I've put it in a position where using my flip would put it directly in the center of the ball, I then flip diagonally forward. Now, another thing though is that I do use a speed flip to recover quicker. However, you can do this without a speed flip. So if there's an invisible ball in front of my eyes right now, I would jump up and then I would speed flip through the hit. Make sure to generate more power that you boost through your hits. So right as I'm hitting the ball, I'm often boosting. And so if you were to slow that down, I'm boosting right as I hit it. Not necessarily after, but as I hit the ball, I do boost so that it doesn't cushion the ball. I'm watching this replay just so you guys can see the boost at the last second there. So I'm boosting as I hit that, and then I stop right after I hit the ball. You don't need to boost once it's left the car. However, as you are hitting it, follow through. And this is a thing that comes from sports. I know soccer players will understand this. It's that when you kick the ball, you want your foot to end up in the direction that you want the ball to go. But for the best hits possible, you want to follow through as I hit it with the worst hit possible. Alright, and then also when you're in boomer ball mode, I wouldn't recommend trying to get power shots in game like this. However, so in game, you'll want to get a power shot kind of like this. So it's going in mid, and you want to have the correct positioning to be coming at it like this as you hit it. However, in boomer ball, when you hit it off a wall, you want to immediately power slide and turn. This will generate your power. Is a lot of you don't power slide, and so you just rely on being the perfect position, but I'm power sliding. If you're watching my controller, oh, got a little miss. A little cleanup on aisle 5. Alright, that was a terrible joke. Off the backboard here, I power slide around, I hit this against the wall, and I'm going to power slide, this little air roll flip, and so I was able to tilt my corner up and hit it. Another one of those. I'm going to land on the ground over here and call the ball to me, because as I spoke about in the last video, you don't have to just hit the ball around in boomer and always chase it. It's just about getting a lot of time on the ball, hitting the ball as hard as you can, and if you lose track of it, who cares? Just call it to you and keep going. Try to hit it as often as possible, as hard as you can, and just get good repetition in, because in game, you are going to be hitting it about 1/10 this time. One thing I wanted to talk about before I end this video is that a lot of you guys seem to struggle with putting the hours in free play. And I know it's difficult because you feel like the game Rocket League is ranked, and it's boring when you're not playing it. However, one thing you can do is set a goal, not for a rank, but for a certain level of card control. So I know a lot of you guys go into free play with the goal of getting a certain rank. You go in hoping that you can come out a champion or a grand champion. Instead, go into free play hoping to develop your skills so that almost every goal you score is over a certain speed. For example, I like to score my goals around 70 miles per hour. Now, what this does is it means if I'm under that goal, why would I play ranked? I'm not ready for it. It's a fun little thing to aim for within free play itself. When you train just for ranked, you feel unfulfilled unless you have proven yourself within the ranks. So change your goal, change your mindset, and once you'll start enjoying free play, you will rank up extremely easily. Now, before I go today, I'm going to quickly fly between the goals, practicing both air rolls. And I will then be warming down by also just toying around with the ball for a few minutes and making sure that I am prepared to be more fluid in ranked, because this is a very strict warm-up and with certain things you're supposed to be doing at certain times. However, when you are in game, it's all random. You might have to 1 second make a save, which takes a certain skill set, and the next second have to carry the ball on your roof and do a perfect flick or shot. So I like to just goof off at the end to kind of warm down and be ready to play. One thing you can do on your cooldown before ranked is just practice half flips. Now, I noticed often that when I was in game, the ability to half flip just kind of went out the window. This is because I was focusing on too many things at once, and so thinking about how my controller was positioned and when I was canceling my flip and which air roll I was using to turn in midair, those things were a little bit too much for my brain, and so I would lose the ability that I had when I was in free play. One way to counter this is just while you dribble the ball on your roof, or while you're hitting the ball around, because I know all of you can't do this, while you're hitting the ball around like so, sometimes just power slide in a circle and try to half flip back to the ball. Little things like that. Or if you can carry the ball on your roof, try to just flick it like that. And you can even do big flicks where you throw it all the way up in the air. And just practice half flipping while things are happening, because that will actually come in handy mid-game. So that's about my routine. If you guys have any additions or changes you want to make to it, you can totally let me know, and I will try to incorporate them for the future. If I make another video, I will definitely include things that I enjoyed from the comment section. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this second free play tutorial. It's a little addition to the first one that it can't hurt to watch both and just understand exactly what I'm talking about. I hope you guys can take this routine and incorporate it into some of the things you've already been doing in free play, and I hope to see you in the high ranks someday. But until then, goodbye.